We're designing a task managing application for students called NUTask. This will eventually be a real desktop application, but today we're testing paper mockups to just make sure that we get the design right before we start implementing the software. We're going to give you a paper mockup of our design, but please pretend that you're using a real computer. If you have to enter text, just write it on the piece of paper using a pen. To click, just tap the paper. Please talk aloud while you work to help us understand what you're thinking. Try to pretend we're not here. If you get stuck or aren't sure what to do next, see if you can figure it out on your own. Remember that we aren't just testing you, we're testing our prototype. Let us know when you feel like a task has been completed.
A senior is taking 6 credits in his final quarter before graduation. He wants a way to quickly set himself up with a task managing app, so he signs up, inputs his class schedule to NUTask, and is ready to start adding tasks.
Okay, so to start signing up, I guess I'm just going to enter my personal information, like my name, my last name, and then password. Just use and then password. I'm going to accept all the terms, and then click sign up. So I guess I'm in the task page today, tomorrow. Task, this class schedule. Okay, so I'm gonna want to add a new task, right? So I'm gonna hit add new task to add, so I can sign up and then put my class schedule, or I guess calendar first. Calendar, yeah. So I'm gonna hit calendar, and then I want to enter and add my classes. So math is Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 10 to 11. So I hit math, and then I'm gonna repeat that on add a repeating event, math every Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 10 to 11. And then I'm gonna add a meeting every Sunday from 3 to 4. Oh, I put these in the wrong. But I put math in the wrong day, so I'm gonna have to delete that event and then enter math on Monday. And then Sunday, I have a meeting that's every Sunday from 3 to 4, starting on the 28th. So meeting. And then that's the only Sunday. So then those events, I mean, they'll repeat. I think that's it.
The student receives next week's problem set after turning in the previous set and logs into the app to quickly mark the task complete. He then creates a new task and assigns it a class and a due date.
Alright, so I'm gonna log in with the username and password that I created in the last task. Log in. So I turned in last week's problem set, so I'm gonna mark that complete, and that's problem set 3, correct? Alright, so I'm gonna click that box, mark it complete. I'm assuming it like disappears something, or am I complete? And then I want to create a new task, so I'm gonna hit add new task. So I'm gonna add a new task for the new problem set, and it's gonna be called problem set 4. It's for math. It's due 5/4, and then that's the only boxes I'll hit, and I'll hit add. Okay, so I think that's the end of the event, right?
The student sorts his task list to display a single class's tasks in order to take his workload one step at a time.
Okay, so I'm gonna filter. So I'm gonna hit filter. And then I'm going to click DTC, and then I see all my tasks for DTC by today, tomorrow, this week.
The student has several assignments due later this month. In anticipation for this, he uses NUTask to schedule times to complete these assignments in advance of the actual due date.
Okay, so I'm going to edit testing report first. And then I want to schedule it to complete it on April 30th. Yes. So, and then I will hit add to update it. Then I want to edit problem set 4. I'm going to schedule that for May 2nd, and I'm going to hit add. And then now my 2 assignments are scheduled for a different day than when they're due, so they'll be done.
The student has an hour and a half for lunch between classes and has multiple assignments due soon. The student opens NUTask, it recommends possible tasks that the user can work on, and the student uses their free time productively.
Alright, I'm going to click suggestions to see what I can do with my hour and a half. And with 45 minutes, I could work on problem set 3 or problem set 4. Because problem set 3 shows me that it's due earlier, I'm going to do problem set 3 first.
The major usability problems found from the testing had to do with the clarity of the design. Some terminology was unclear, such as the Add button in the Edit window. Additionally, users hesitated while filling out fields because the apps never specified that an asterisk meant required. Next, the Edit button was hard to find due to it being unlabeled. Finally, some users thought they could click places they couldn't due to past experience with apps like Google Calendar. On the other hand, users didn't always use buttons they could click, like the drop-down date or class selection. We learned that the UI needs to be clear and obvious. The language of every field should be contextually correct and labeled appropriately. This means changing the add text to say save when a user edits a task, putting the word edit next to the pencil symbol on each task, and letting the users know which fields are required. Second, the clickable buttons and drop-down fields need to be made more obvious by changing their color or shape. This design choice will be consistent across the entire app so the user knows what to expect in every menu. Finally, our design needs to prevent users from falling back to using previous knowledge from other apps. To do this, we will generalize the previous idea regarding buttons and fields by making sure the solution to every task a user wants to accomplish is obvious and does not require guessing to complete.